As promised, we're going to run through all the exploitation, blaxploitation films. We're going to start it off with a couple of women in prison films. Two of these are actually directed by Jack Hill, who will come up later again in this video. But we got The Big Birdcage, Big Dollhouse, and Women in Cages. I've actually never watched any of those, sadly. We got Weng Weng in For Your Height Only. I first discovered Weng Weng, who's like a 2-foot-tall Filipino martial artist who's also an action star. Yeah, check him out. I first discovered him through a Kenny vs. Spenny episode, but it's also got a Challenge of the Tiger on there, some Bruce-sploitation for you. Next we got Mutant, which is also... I got it on tape. It's like a German fucking version right here. I love these, like... You know, like, that's, like that 18 thing, like, that's normal to you guys, like, on the other side of the fucking world, but to me, I think it just looks so cool. But yeah, so there's that movie. It's really cool. Kind of blank and don't really remember what it's about, but I enjoyed it. Raiders of Atlantis, I can kind of explain that. It's about, like, these two dudes. It's kind of like a buddy movie, and there's, like, this dome thing happening. It's really fucking cool. It's one of those good, you know, I would watch that along with, say, Bronx Warriors, the first one or something, but... yeah, so Raiders of Atlantis and Shocking Dark, which just came out, not just, but a couple of months ago through, maybe a year ago by now, Severin. They also released Zombie 3 and 4, which I've yet to fucking get to. My god. Next we got, on this one, I believe it's One Eye. Fuck's sakes. It's One Eye and something else. It is, okay, Thriller, aka they call her One Eye, and the Black Gestapo. If you've never seen Thriller, watch it, alright? And I'm not talking Michael Jackson. I'm talking fucking hardcore chick with an eye patch. You know, it's if you can get through the fucking movie, because there's some understandably hard parts to watch for some, I can imagine, but if you can get through it, it's fucking a killer payoff. House of Whipcord, which is a Pete Walker collection. I don't know if, yeah, Pete Walker directed it. Yeah, I'm not familiar with this film. I've never watched it. We got the Bronx Warriors trilogy, which I don't really remember the other names of them. Okay, so this has got the Bronx Warriors, Escape from the Bronx, and Dracula and Bride of Frankenstein, so go figure. Next we got Vigilante, which is an amazing, amazing film. Watch this along with your Death Wish or your fucking Exterminator, you know what I mean? Like, this is a fun... it's got Robert Forster and Fred Williamson. If you don't know who Robert Forster is, there he is right there. You might know him from Like Mike as the coach. You might know him from Jackie Brown. You might know him from other various films. I knew him mostly from Like Mike, believe it or not, because my brother was obsessed with that fucking... My brother was obsessed with Like Mike before I got obsessed with, like, exploitation films, if that makes sense. Really good Ruggero Deodato film, Live Like a Cop, Die Like a Man. Of course, Ruggero Deodato famously did, God damn it. I don't remember if it was Cannibal Holocaust or Cannibal Ferox, but great Italian buddy cop film. Can't go wrong. Shaft in Africa, which I've not watched. Got War of the Monsters, which is a shitty little cheap DVD. I watched this a long time ago. God, it looks bad. Maybe good, though. I think this is, okay, this is a Roddy Piper and Don the Dragon Wilson film, Terminal Rush. Never watched that one either. Here's a Gene Roland film, which probably belongs more in the horror section than the exploitation section, but it's just one I've never watched. Looks crazy. It's one of those Kino redemption releases. I got a couple of redemption releases on VHS. We got the original Shaft, fucking classic. If you never watched this, get off this video, watch it, and then if you come back to the video, immediately watch Black Dynamite. Michael J. White, it's fucking awesome. This is so goddamn good. There's an animated series which is done in the style of Boondocks, the same animation look, and there's a comic which is fucking awesome too. So definitely check out Black Dynamite. If you love this kind of shit, you will love that. Believe me. Next we got Badass, which is a telling of the making of a movie called Sweetback's Badass Song, which is a blaxploitation film directed by Melvin Van Peebles and Mario Van Peebles was his son, and it's just a fucking crazy story, so I would recommend this. Getting into some soul cinema, we got Black Caesar, which was directed by Larry Cohen, who recently passed away. Me and my uncle were just talking about that because I didn't believe him, and then I came down here, and true enough. Next, we got Sheba Baby with Pam Grier, directed by William Griddler. Okay. I haven't watched that one in a long time. I fucking love Pam Grier. Blaxploitation. What's this one? This has got Detroit 9000, Black Caesar, Superfly, and the Mac. Dope. Here's one with one of the Wayans brothers. I'm gonna get you, sucker. Sorry. I wasn't looking at the camera, so I hope I was actually getting everything in frame. Next we got Coffee, classic, my favorite blaxploitation film of all time. Pam Grier kicks ass in this film. She's fucking dope, super badass. Blows a fucking guy's head off in the first like 10 minutes of the film. Does all kind. It's so good. If any movie, watch Coffee. I'll probably say that a lot on this shelf, but another Fred Williamson, Hell Up in Harlem, which is Larry Cohen, I believe, again. No? Yes, Larry Cohen. So yeah, Larry Cohen, he didn't only just do like classics like you know, God Told Me To, or The Stuff and stuff like that. He was doing blaxploitation shit back in the day. So Hell Up in Harlem. Black Cobra, which was directed by, I'm not sure who directed that. Great film though. There's a few Black Cobra films. You find them on like those fucking, those like Mill Creeks and shit like that. Cleopatra Jones, which I've not watched. Looks like a badass chick, you know, on the streets, maybe in space, or not space, but like in the future a bit. And then we got a series of these little cheapies. Crash of the Moons, watched that a bunch of times when I was a kid. South Bronx Heroes, which is another Mario Van Peebles film. Not, he didn't direct it, but he stars in it. This movie's about like child prostitution and child porn. I don't really like that. That's just like a little thing there. Got Die Sister Die, shitty. Severed Arm, shitty. Phantom 1000, 10,000 Leagues, not bad. Swamp Woman, shitty. We got the Rudy Ray Moore, oh, another one. Sherlock Holmes, Terror by Night. This should actually be in horror. We got the Rudy Ray Moore collection. I've actually shown this recently, so I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but it's got a bunch of his stand-up specials. It's got all of his films. It's amazing. I paid like 20 bucks for this or some shit. Somebody fucking got a bunch of stuff on it. I had to clean it. It was a pain in the ass, but moving along, we got Coffee on VHS. We got Black Cobra. We got Bucktown, which is another Fred Williamson and Pam Grier starring. Fucking badass cover. I love both those fuckers. We got The Mac. We got Warriors of the Wasteland, which I think is like the unofficial third, or like, I think this is technically the third Bronx Warriors film. Angels Die Hard. Holy fuck. This is a hilarious biker film where the scene that sticks out the most to me is they shack up, like one of their buddies gets killed, so they hire this morgue guy, like a mortician, and like a funeral director. They end up getting them all fucked up, and it's awesome. Another one that's pretty fun, Escape 2000. Steve Railsback. So me and my uncle were talking about him a lot. I forget the significance, but this also has the chick, I believe, from It. Audrey. This is all actually the same. What company is this? Star Maker. We've got a Rutger Hauer film here, Wanted Dead or Alive, which on a show that I listened to on YouTube called The Cinephiles, one of the guys, Jeff Galashaw, who I'm actually friends with on Facebook, he said this is one of his like gateway films that made him love film. Interesting. A Boy and His Dog, another one I heard about on The Cinephiles. Check out The Cinephiles if you're into like kind of round table talk about film. Really cool stuff. All the guys are from New York. Well, they're not all from New York, but they all, you know, the one guy, Michael Fultz, he's fucking hilarious. I love him. And Eric Cohen is like a fucking well of knowledge. Edwin Samuelson is fucking smart as shit. So I recommend that show. But that's how I found out about that film. And the reason this is on the exploitation shelf is because it says Don Johnson stars as a machine gun wielding punk in this super sexual sci-fi adventure. set in the future during post-atomic age. The planet Earth is a desert waste. Like, you get the idea. I've heard it sucks, but I've heard it's not bad. So we got a Franco Nero film here. These are DVD-Rs, I might point out, as you can see, like the fucking printed out cover. But we got Franco Nero and Street Law, Italian film. I'm hoping that what I get from this, or I'm hoping to get the same feel of that as I got from, where's that Raro one? This one. Next we got The Exterminator with, blanking on the guy's name. The director's something McGinty or something like that. Amazing film. If you like Death Wish, watch this. Exterminator 2, the German cover art. Just as good, but I think the first one's better. I think my uncle would agree as well. Enemy Territory, one of my favorite fucking films of all time. This isn't technically an exploitation film, it's more of a gang film, but I didn't want to just lump it in with all, like, you know, the non-horror, non-martial arts section, so definitely check this out. It's got an early appearance of Tony Todd, aka the Candyman, as the leader of this gang in this movie. The gang is called, like, the Vampires or something. It's awesome. Another awesome film of that time, Game of Survival, also known as Tenement, stars the bartender from Pulp Fiction who was the runner-up to be Jules in Pulp Fiction. So really cool stuff. Amazing film. Very graphic right from the get-go in terms of, like, animal cruelty and stuff, but they're not real animals, so it's a good laugh. Finally, we got The Bronx Warriors from the Post-Apocalyptic Collection. So this is probably part of a 3-part box set. Both these are Shriek shows. So, you know, that's my my little exploitation corner here. I mean, there's a lot of stuff on the horror shelves, not only on, like, the DVD, but also, like, the VHS. There's a lot of stuff that could probably go like in that corner, but, you know, that's about it. So stay tuned for the next video. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but it will be tomorrow. So adios.